Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. I'm your host, Brittany Lauffer.
And I'm Ryan Bailey. This week on Daybreak, we have your campus, city, and national news.
Plus, we have weather, entertainment, and a sports report for you. And Tori Adams will be joining us later, making some bacon-wrapped chestnuts.
That sounds good. All that and more straight ahead on Daybreak. In campus news this week, the on-campus restaurant Osteria 100 closed over winter break. Daybreak correspondent Chris Hoffman did some searching as to why it closed and has this report.
Osteria closed its doors to Point Park University students and changed the direction of one student's internship. Senior ad and PR major Alec Robertson worked as one of the Osteria interns since it opened in the fall of 2012.
We were hired to market, advertise, and do PR for Osteria, the restaurant on campus.
Osteria lasted 3 semesters at Point Park before it closed over the 2013 winter break. Point Park president Paul Hennigan said Osteria left because they did not meet their sales expectations. Robertson is now conducting research as to why the restaurant did not do well.
The perception of it was that it was fancy, it was just too nice looking, it looked too expensive. It wasn't that expensive, but it looked too expensive.
Point Park is now facing the task of filling the area on the first floor of Frontier Hall.
We have a group of folks at the university, including some students, who will be involved in the selection of the next operator.
Robertson is part of the student committee trying to find a new restaurant to fill this space here at the corner of Wood Street and First Avenue. Robertson will continue his research for the next month as the school determines his internship. The research and student feedback will be used to find a new restaurant for Point Park. Robertson hopes that with all the student input, the new restaurant will be much more student-friendly. For Point News, I'm Chris Hoffman.
And yet another on-campus restaurant closed down last week. Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs closed after 3 years of serving the downtown community. Nathan's was located right across the street from Academic Hall in the YWCA building. This comes right after another campus eatery, Osteria 100, which closed earlier in the month. In a study done at Nathan's location, the YWCA reported that between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., about 266 people walked by the building every 10 minutes, with about 70% of those being students. And despite giving student discounts to Point Park, the YWCA said that Nathan's just could not generate enough profit to continue. The YWCA is unsure of what will fill the void left by Nathan's, but some popular suggestions include a grocery store, a convenience store, and a Chick-fil-A. The Student Solidarity Organization recently stood before the United Student Government in support of the unionization of adjunct professors. USG initially decided to support the cause, but has since opted to table it for more discussion. The SSO's statement addressed the adjuncts' lack of job security, lack of benefits, and low wages. Luke Niebler, an adjunct professor here at Point Park, also spoke at the meeting, saying that he shares one office that has 1 computer and 4 desks with 50 other adjuncts. USG President Dylan Kunkel said, quote, "This is not just a Point Park issue, it's a Pittsburgh issue. If we unionize in one, we unionize in all," end quote. While most students at this time of the semester are just trying to remember what classroom they're in, COPA students are dealing with what they say is the most stressful time of year. Auditions for all upcoming shows are held in the opening weeks of the spring semester. Susan Stowe, chair of the dance program, says that she realizes it isn't ideal to have auditions during this time, but that it's the only way to make it work. The shows that the COPA majors are auditioning for include Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson, Playboy, Hush, and others. And that's all for your campus news. Now here's Brittany with City News.
Thanks, Ryan. In City News this week, Air Force One landed last Wednesday morning in Pittsburgh, bringing in President Barack Obama to give a speech at the U.S. Steel Irvin plant in West Mifflin. Obama's post-State of the Union tour included talking about a retirement savings program. Many reporters attended the event and were screened by Secret Service agents before being stationed on a platform about 150 feet away from Air Force One. A senior White House official told reporters that the U.S. steel plant was chosen as the location for the speech, partly due to the fact that employers have access to solid retirement plans. Most union workers are eligible for a program called the Defined Benefit Pension, which Obama noted most workers do not have. UVU's own Kelsey Metzger, Chris Hoffman, and Hunter Tresnicki were there to cover the event. We'll have more on the president's address in Pittsburgh later in the broadcast. At least 22 people were killed in 6 countries across western Pennsylvania due to a painkiller laced with a deadly supply of heroin. 15 of the people died in the Allegheny County region. The mixture is of heroin and a narcotic pain reliever called fentanyl. According to TribLive.com's interview with Dr. Neil Capretto, the medical director of Gateway Rehabilitation Center in Beaver County, instead of a pharmaceutical-grade fentanyl, this mixture has likely come from illegal labs. The side effects include sedation, slowed breathing, coma, and even death. Prevention Point Pittsburgh is expecting more people for its weekly needle exchange program for addicts in the Hill District. Pittsburgh's Mayor Bill Peduto is still without a public safety director, but that is because he is on the hunt for a good candidate. Last Tuesday, Bill Peduto announced that he is seeking more applicants through Talent City at the police and fire bureaus. Talent City is a recruiting website designed to recruit from and across the nation. Acting Public Safety Director Mike Huss will continue his post and remains a finalist for the permanent job. The city's 2014 budget currently sets the job at $105,000. Other administration positions include hiring retiree Mike Gable as the Public Works Director. Gable used to work at the department's deputy director, but retired last March. And that's all for your city news this morning. Now back to Ryan at the couch.
Thanks, Brittany. Coming up next on Daybreak, we will have a national news report for you and extended coverage of President Obama's speech in Pittsburgh Wednesday. We'll be right back.